Hello, and this is after Q&A. It's my favourite part. We kick the panellists out and we have a discussion behind their back that we share on the internet, which probably means we're not really having it behind their back, but look, that's by the by. I want to go back to some of the questioners who asked some questions tonight, and I'm going to ask the number one Tina arena fan in Australia. You asked a question. What did you make of the answer?
The answer was all right, but it didn't go to the crux of the question. The question was why suddenly now is there all this funding? We all know why it's there because the material.
I should redo this, and we should be not at all. We should be very clear about what your question was for our video later. Tell me what that question was that you wanted to get to about the Matildas funding.
Yeah, essentially, suddenly there's all this money for women's sport, which is fantastic. There's a huge disparity, as we know, between male and female funding in sport. Why suddenly now? Why has it not always been there? And the answer mainly went, well, isn't this great? We've got it there. It didn't actually, from my view, address, but why hasn't it always been there?
And why do you think it's not been there always?
Because of gender inequality.
No. Who else thinks it's maybe because of that? Come on, school kids, hands up. What did you think of some of the answers around watching, the response to the Matildas and how everyone's suddenly really into girls in sport?
Oh, my God. I thought they sort of danced around the question a little bit but didn't really get to it properly, yeah.
What do you think's happening?
I think that it took one big victory and everybody coming together to celebrate this beautifully to really bring the issue to the forefront of the news and everything. But I think that we should have realised earlier, and it's taken us a ridiculously long time.
Why do you think we're so in love with this particular football team?
Just because they display such like a raw amount of spirit. Like you saw the amount of penalties and you saw how they were really gunning for it, and just being women in the sporting industry is so hard, but you can see every time that they just give it their all.
Are you going to run for politics or something one day?
Maybe.
I thought so. All right, that was amazing. I just want to get your perspective on the quota issue on Australian quotas. I tried to get the percentage for you from Tony Burke, didn't get it, but did you feel like he kind of got that and the government's moving in the right direction?
Well, they've obviously committed to doing a quota. There will be a quota, he said, in July next year. So I think that's really important that, that they keep reiterating that. But yeah, it just needs, I just don't want, the reason I brought up the conversation about diversity and about poor quality content, and I think they talked about it on the panel as well, is around there has been in the past where they've filled out content with reality TV. They just take whatever reality TV is popular in the US, put up a bunch of Australians in it, and that's Australian content. Where we know that, and where we can heavy hit with Bluey, with Heartbreak High, with all these other content, we know that the international community is interested in Australian stories. Also just interested in stories that aren't American-centric as well, because, there's Squid Game from Korea. There's a really good Spanish one that comes up, I think something like Heist or something. I should know the name if I'm going to talk about it. But, people are looking for, we get so much American content in particular here, and we really need to, make sure that our voices aren't swept away in all that. Yeah.
And tonight. You're excited. I'm really into it. It's what time is it? Very late on a Monday night. You're all fired up. You asked a question about the arts, and Tony Burke had, something that he was going to announce on Thursday. Do you feel like that some of that is getting settled?
Oh, look, it's great to see that there is some support hopefully coming through, that we're going to see possibly a welfare system that does appreciate and help artists. But I was really interested in David's question and the way those two things can tie together, because a huge part of the fact that many people I know who work in film and TV are currently scrounging for jobs and there is an absolute lack of work is because of our wedding to international TV. So a number of huge American productions were supposed to be filmed here in Melbourne and all up the East Coast this year. And when the writer's strikes came along, they're gone. And with it, hundreds and hundreds of jobs that could have kept, for example, myself and my partner here very well employed for up to 5 years. And now we are grabbing, you know, a job here for a couple of days and putting on our own burlesque shows just to try and get a few dollars in to make rent. If we weren't so beholden to Hollywood, we would have amazing content coming out of Australia, and I would love to see more of that.
Well, this brings tonight to a close. Thank you so much, this excellent Monday audience in Melbourne. It's my home state, so I do love a Melbourne audience. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.